Obviously, tough one for us. Tough one shooting the ball. Give them credit. They had not played zone, but 3% of the time and threw it out there. And I think our missed shots got the best of us. Just wasn't our night. Give them credit. Obviously, our guys finished playing really hard the last 10 minutes. So our guys need some rest. They need some rest right now. Need to rest and move on.
Coach, obviously you talk about those last 10 minutes, the intensity you guys had. Do you feel like, despite the loss tonight, the team has some level of momentum going into MSG because of the fight they showed there late?
I think being able to finish playing that hard was a really good thing, Andy. I think the missed open shots really bothered them. It bothered guys. We had wide open shots in the first half, wide open shots in the second half, and it just bothered them, and it affected we got to be a little bit more mature and tougher than that. It bothered us. They've got really good size across the board, but their zone was, again, there wasn't anything really unique about it outside their size. We just didn't make shots. I was really proud of our guys for the last 10 minutes. We just waited a little bit too long to kind of get over our missed shots and play hard.
Butler went on an 18-2 run out of the halftime. Just what did you kind of see during that stretch from your guys?
I have to go back and look at it. I think some of it was some turnovers and some missed open looks that fed their transition. That was the naked eye point of view as much as anything. They're a good offensive team. They've been a good offensive team all the year. When they've been able to defend, they can beat anybody in the league. They're really talented. I know they've had some injuries, but they're one of the more talented teams in the league.
Chris, when you guys played St. John's, you guys obviously played at Carnesecca, and some guys have experience playing at the Garden. Is it, as a coach, do you rely on the guys who have played there, or would you rather have a team prefer not to play there so they don't overthink the atmosphere and environment? How do you kind of handle that?
I think as much as anything, the experience is a good thing. I love the fact that guys played there last year. Some of those guys coming back had played there and played really well there. We played really well for 2 games. It was really 2 of our better games of the year. So we got to get back to that. I think, our guys can learn from this. They can also reflect on, some real accomplishments here this regular season, second most Big East wins in 19 years. Real positive energy in this building with attendance, being where it's at. It's hard on a day like today, but hopefully, I got asked that in the radio. Hopefully, at some point they'll have a chance to reflect on some really positive accomplishments. And most importantly, we need to get some rest and move forward to either playing Georgetown or Xavier, I think.
Coach, I know senior day looks a little different nowadays in the transfer portal era, but Coach Mata said that building relationships is kind of something he misses about today's kind of game. Do you find it harder to build relationships, and is that something you can relate to in terms of what Coach Mata said?
Totally, yeah. It's totally different than what it was 10 years ago. Yeah, I mean, very rarely do you have 4 or 5 years guy. I mean, at Butler, I had 5-year guys, 4-year guys. At Ohio State, I had 5-year guys, 4-year guys. That you just have a deeper relationship with them, their families, their people. You go through so much together. It's totally different now. But our 4 seniors, 2 of them jumped on board right when we got the job 2 years ago, and they really cared. Senior day is a tough day because guys can want it too bad, and they can really just tighten up a little bit. I don't know that we tightened up, but I know how badly they wanted it. I think the combination of 3 games in 3 days, 3 games in 6 days, and some frustration with the missed shots got the best of them. But it is a totally different game now that we're coaching in terms of the player relationship. Totally different.
Coach, Caleb was a +9 in 22 minutes. You guys obviously were able to play him 22 minutes today. Just what have you liked from him today in these past few games heading into the tournament?
I just love the fact he made an open shot there early. That's why we wanted to stay with him, And I thought he was doing a good job getting on the glass. And like you and I've talked about, he's done a good job kind of staying ready when his number needed to be called.
When you talk about Butler coming out of the halftime, kind of swinging with that energy that you have in the last 10 minutes where you guys found that energy, what are some of the ways that you can, I guess, manifest or kind of get the team going, especially the last minutes when you have to pick up that energy?
Well, that really hasn't been who we've been. We've really been good. I think it was they they were frustrated with their offensive play and they let it affect their overall effort. That's just what we got to learn from it. But again, Butler's got really good size. They've got good players. The zone bothers us a little bit, so give them credit too.
Chris, with the risk of coming off like an old man yelling at clouds, when you guys aren't making open shots, in modern basketball, the backboard isn't utilized on jump shot. Is there a certain reason for that?
No, I think it can be used when you have angles and you're around the rim at a closer level. But if you're talking about threes, we're probably not going to bank threes in intentionally. I do think around the rim through contact, we could have used the glass more. I think when you have open looks and you're missing them, it just can be. It was one of those nights where it just is a little bit contagious. And again, really pleased with our last 10 minutes effort, but it was a little bit too little, too late.
Yeah, I know you mentioned needing to get some rest. How do you balance getting that rest and getting ready for the Big East tournament? Or does that kind of go hand in hand?
No, rest is most important right now, I think, for our guys, physical and mental rest. You had Marquette, an emotional game, kind of rivalry game at 3 o'clock on Sunday. You had a Villanova game at 7 o'clock. I can't remember if Butler played over the weekend or not. Did they?
No, they were off.
Yeah.
They only played once.
Okay. I was always, that's what I thought. The most important thing for us right now is rest. The Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday, 11. I was a little worried about that. You add in senior day. I'm not trying to make excuses, but I am trying to understand maybe why we weren't at our best. Don't take anything away from Butler, but why we weren't at our best.
Coach, just want to ask you about NJ's performance tonight. And obviously, Coach Owens told us a couple weeks ago in his media availability that one of the things you guys have tried to challenge him with is blocking more shots. He blocked 3 tonight. Just what have you liked about his continued response to all your challenges and he's strung together these games?
Yeah, he's really played well here down the stretch. Really played well. They got really good size at the 5. That bothered him a little bit, especially in the middle of the zone. But I thought the only thing I wanted him to do, I expect a lot of the kid, is I wanted him to defensive rebound better. I didn't think he did that at the highest level, but he's been such a fun, special kid to coach. So is CJ, Brandon, and KB, and just great kids to coach.
Who are some other players that you would like to see step up in future games, and in what ways?
Well, I think as much as anything, we've got to get a little bit more from our bench. We need guys that have struggled shooting the ball to shoot the ball a little bit better. And I think just collectively, we can all be a little bit better. That's what we've got to learn from these last 2 games. We were terrific on Sunday at Marquette. Not our best here these last 2 games, and give Villanova and Butler credit.
Chris, with the Providence and Georgetown game tonight, that game has significant impact on DePaul, how you guys are seeing. Is that a game you want to watch live kind of in the moment, or are you just going to kind of go about your life and then worry about the result after?
I think I'll keep a close eye on it because that'll determine who we play, and because it's a Wednesday game, so we've got to start making plans here pretty quickly in terms of preparation. Georgetown played well against us last time at their place, so we need to have a good plan going into that game for sure. Xavier, obviously, we split with Georgetown, but both games, last 2 games, were a little bit unique, particularly Georgetown was. So I'll keep an eye on it, but it's nice to know it's down to 2 teams so we can plan accordingly. I believe it's the 6 or the 7 right now, if I'm not correct. Okay, thanks, guys.
NJ, after the Marquette win, you guys have kind of had 2 losses where the energy has just kind of left the building, especially at home. How do you kind of rebuild that momentum as you head into New York?
I think watching a lot of film, Coach has started to show us a lot of response clips in the room, tight huddles and responding to bad calls or misplays and diving on the floor, just the plays that win you games. We haven't been doing a lot of since Marquette, so that's a lot of film that we have to look into for sure.
And then in your first game in the tournament, how do you all want to respond on the court?
Just taking it day by day. I feel like in the tournament, it's kind of like last year, our mindset was just win this game, think about the next later. Obviously, we have to see what team we're playing first, but I feel like after today, letting this game go and focusing on whoever we play next.
NJ, even despite the losses, you guys got standing ovations from the crowd tonight as you were checking out. Just what did it mean to have the fans behind you for your entire 2 years here at DePaul?
It means a lot, man, especially to the very loyal ones that have been here since I've been here. I mean, they really changed how it felt from last year to now. It's really a big difference, and we applaud them for that and give them all the credit.
You guys obviously have the Big East tournament, next week. How much damage can this team do when you guys are all clicking on the court?
I feel like a lot. I feel like we go into every game as the underdog, and that's kind of been our role, our mentality, knowing that. So I feel like we just have to be road warriors. It's going to be a neutral court, and I think we'll be ready for sure.
And this, with this being your final season, I guess what's kind of the biggest thing that you kind of take away from the year?
I mean, with this group, I just think it's been the bite, the force. Everybody, I don't think anybody expected us to play or win as many games as we had. So, I mean, I give credit to the coaching staff and just this group buying into being the underdog and not worrying about what anybody else says and just playing for DePaul.
NJ, you guys, obviously, when you went to St. John's, you guys played at Carnesecca and not the Garden. As someone who has played in the Garden in 2 games last year, with a team that hasn't had experience there, how can you kind of relay what that atmosphere is going to be like to guys who haven't been in that position?
I feel like it'd take a lot from me and CJ and Layden, us 3 in particular, just because we were the ones mainly in it, just preparing them for the atmosphere, because it can get really like isolated in there. It's like almost like dim lights. You can't really see everybody out there, but you hear the noise. So I just feel like preparing our young guys and just letting them know that it's going to be a battle or a fight, whoever we play.
Despite the loss, you still had 24. Just vision-wise, what were you seeing out there, and what element of your game do you think gave you the most success?
I think the coaches just put me in really good positions. They were running the zone, and Coach Holtmann put me in the middle and let me kind of attack it and called a couple sets where I could burn out of the corner. But I give credit to my teammates for finding me in spots like that. I just wanted to do what I could to try to help us win the game.
Obviously, you guys made that late game run. You held Butler to no points in the last 8 minutes, at least no points beyond free throws. Just does it feel like you guys, despite obviously having the loss, carrying some momentum off those last 8 minutes in the Madison Square Garden?
Yeah, I feel like for sure. I think I can't really go into what was said in our huddle with the players, but I feel like what was said from BMAC just really woke us all up and made everybody just want to go out there and play their butts off. And I feel like the last 10 minutes, that's what they did.
And then even though you obviously don't want to say what Brandon said today, just what has his energy meant for you guys all year, especially in some of those wins you guys have had?
It's meant a lot. I think the biggest thing about BMAC is that he's going to be honest with you. And he's always going to keep it 100, but his mindset is always DePaul first. So whatever he says, we're following that, regardless of what it is.
You mentioned the last 10 minutes and the energy that is kind of flowing in there. What was the difference between the energy in the last 10 minutes and then the other 30 minutes?
I think the press kind of woke our guards up, just being active and just to fight to the end. I mean, Coach said that, but I think the press kind of woke everybody up and it made them play a lot faster, a lot more hungrier, and going after loose balls and stuff like that, I think was the biggest thing for us.
Thank you, everyone.
Appreciate you guys.
Thanks.